It's stories like this that really make you want to share the gospel with more people, that make you want to share the love of God with more people. Um, and the reason I say that is because you look at somebody like Twitch, who I've known for, or not known, but I've known of for a very long time. He started out on the Ellen Show. I didn't really watch the Ellen Show all that much, but if I ever stumbled across the Ellen Show, then I would always see him, and he was always, seemed super happy, positive, just, dancing, just seemed like the type of person who was, happy to be alive. Um, and this was just a couple days ago. This is him and his wife dancing, and it's so crazy because whenever you see stories like this of people taking their own lives, um, instantly the number one thing that people say is check on your happy friends. Make sure you check in on your quiet friends and your happy friends, because this dude seemed like a happy dude, right? Seemed like just a quiet dude who's just happy to have a family, happy to, just be doing what he's doing. And, to see a story like this coming from TMZ, that he took his own life, it really makes you question a lot of things. And the story says that law enforcement sources tell us that Stephen's wife, Allison Holker, ran into the LAPD station Tuesday, and she was frantic because she said Stephen had left home without his car, something that was not like him at all. We're told a short time after, around 11:15 a.m., that paramedics got a call for a medical emergency at a LA hotel, and they found Stephen there dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And once again, I saw this story and I was like, man, like, because this dude, very young guy, he's only 40 years old. Like, I just turned 29 today, actually. And when I saw how he passed away, it really, it really made me think. It really made me think because for a couple of reasons. And I've never really shared this before about myself, but I've struggled with mental health before. I've struggled with depression. I've struggled with feelings of not wanting to be here many times, many times. And I think one of the biggest blessings that God has ever given to me are my children, because I really feel like I was at a point in my life, even just a couple years ago, to be honest with you. I had points in my life where I was really questioning my existence. I was questioning, what my purpose is and why I'm even here. And I feel like the timing of which God gave me children really saved my life, because that gave me a new understanding of life, a new appreciation of life, a new understanding and responsibility that, I have these two beautiful girls that are depending on me, that are looking up to me, that need me to be here, for lack of better words. So, when you see stories like this of somebody taking their life and leaving their children behind, leaving their family, their wife, their family behind, we have to understand something. This is not something that anybody wants. Nobody wants to leave their children behind. Nobody wants to leave their wife behind. Nobody wants to just, abruptly remove themselves from their family. But there is a very real war going on in our spirits. And we have to understand, and I say this all the time, that this is not a matter of flesh and blood. Like, yes, we can walk around, if I ever met, any of you, I could shake your hand in person, right? I can look you in the eye, but we have to understand that we're much more than just our flesh. We're much more than just our bodies. There is a real spiritual element that we cannot see, a real spiritual world going on. And we have forces that are waging war in our spirits. We have demonic forces, that are working for the devil. And then we have forces that are of God that, want us to have life and want us to have life more abundantly. Somebody like this, it's hard for me to believe that somebody would, want to leave their children, want to leave their family behind. There's something bigger that's going on behind the scenes. There's something spiritual that's going on behind the scenes. And I'm reminded of this verse. This is Matthew 11, verse 28. It says, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light.'" And that's why I said at the beginning of this video, stories like this, they remind us that we need to be sharing the gospel more with our family, with our loved ones, with our friends, with the people that we care about in our life, because we never know, number one, when our last breath is going to be, and we never know when our family and our friends are going to take their last breath. And I feel like the worst feeling that I could have personally is knowing that somebody close to me passed away, and knowing that I had an opportunity to tell them about Jesus, tell them how much Jesus loves them, tell them how much Jesus can take away their pain, and how much Jesus wants to, bear their pain and be that strength for them at their lowest point. It would be the biggest regret for me to know that information and have that information and not share that with somebody who is close to me. And it's stories like this that just remind me and really should remind everybody to do that, because you never know. You really never know. No matter what people, and I'm specifically talking to, because I get emails and I get messages, I get different people reaching out to me, saying that they're struggling with certain addictions, or saying that they're struggling with certain sins, or saying that they're struggling with certain, emotions or whatever. And like I said, I've been there. I've been there. I think one of the easiest things that we could do is, number one, give our life to Christ. We have to give our life to Christ. We have to put our faith in Jesus. We have to accept the free gift of salvation that Christ gives to us. That's number one. But then number two, after we've given our life to Christ, we have to just be honest about how we're doing. Because my pastor said something at church, and this is nothing new, but he said it just last week. He said, it's okay to not be okay. We're all going to have moments in our life when we don't feel okay, when we don't feel like showing up. But I would much rather go through those moments with God than by myself. Because regardless of what you say, there's always going to be hardships. There's always going to be things in our lives that we wish were different, that we wish we could change, that is going to bring us down, that is going to make us feel a certain way. But I would much rather go through those hardships with God than without him. And that's what we have to communicate with people. A lot of people think that, just because you're a Christian, your life is magically going to be easier. Your life doesn't get easier when you become a Christian. Actually, your life gets harder. In many reasons, your life becomes more challenging, but at the same time, it becomes more rewarding. It becomes more fulfilling. It becomes more purposeful, because we have a hope. We have a hope for a better future. We have a hope for a better eternity with Christ. And so when we're going through these moments, when we're feeling like, man, I'd rather not be here, we can put that on Christ. And we can rest in the hope that he gives us of our salvation, that there is going to be something better, that we are going to meet Jesus, that we are going to rejoice, that we are going to worship and be with Christ for eternity in heaven. And that's what we can put our faith in. That's where we can rest on. Like the verse says, come to me all who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. The hope that we have in our salvation is where we can place our rest in if we have Jesus. So, extremely sad story. Honestly, something that should never happen, you know. My prayers go out to his family, to his children. You know, what do you guys think about this story? Let me know in your comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm out.